Good afternoon. My name is Ivana. I'm currently leading Google's marketing strategy and operations in Central Eastern Europe and the Baltic marketing team. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Of course, I wish that the circumstances were different and that we could all be meeting together in Riga. That is very dear to my heart. I would also like to emphasize that we are grateful to the organizers, and on behalf of Google, I would really like to recognize and thank you for hosting this event on such a particularly important topic at this time. Today, I would like to reflect on three main topics during my slot. First, I'll discuss the impact of COVID on the economy in Latvia and in Central Eastern Europe, and in particular, its digital economy. Second, I will touch on some key technology trends that we see. And finally, I'll talk about digital skills and their importance for future-proofing economic growth and stability. First, let's start with the impressive economic performance of the CEE region prior to the crisis. By the beginning of 2020, the Central and Eastern European region had, by all accounts, become the growth engine of Europe. Of the 12 EU members that grew their GDP by 3 percentage points or more in 2018, 9 were from this region. Taking even farther back and narrowing the focus on the digital economy, since 2012 and then until 2016, the region's combined digital economy grew by 6.2 percentage points each year. For context, this was twice as fast as the 5 largest EU members back then. And in late 2018, McKinsey estimated that the full economic opportunity created by digital in our region will be worth a total of about 200 billion euros of additional GDP by 2025. The digital economy in 2025 can bring up to 4.9 billion euro in Latvia alone. Those are broader numbers, but we also see real and tangible manifestations of the positive impact of the digital economy on the region. For example, Central and Eastern Europe is home to over 30,000 startups, and the numbers continue to grow. Baltics and Latvia are strong contributors to growth in this regard, thanks to their strong talent pool, entrepreneurial spirit, etc. The region is also the home to some globally successful digital companies, many of them unicorns. For example, Bolt, a leading European transportation platform from Estonia, or UiPath, a process automation company from Romania. So against this impressive backdrop, what has been the impact of COVID on the digital economy, and how has the pandemic impacted users' approach to technology? To set the stage and the context. The pandemic has been and continues to be an extreme hardship, but through this experience, we've seen that there are some steps that we can take in the physical world to cope with the virus, with social distancing, mask wearing, and so forth. Online tools, on the other hand, have been a lifeline in the lockdown and through the COVID crisis. For all of us to get accurate news and health information, to do shopping, to do homeschooling, or stay connected with our loved ones, or for everyday businesses to keep selling when their premises were shuttered, to enable working from home, to find customers, launch new products and services. Our use of technology has leapt forward years in just a couple of months. There are 12 million new users of online services in Central and Eastern Europe. That's a staggering 15 percentage point increase over the number of users at the beginning of the pandemic, according to the new Digital Challengers McKinsey survey. Google's own usage data shows the same trend. We've seen a 60% increase in internet usage. E-commerce search interest in online shopping has increased by 100% worldwide, and Google Meet's peak daily usage has grown by 30 times over the past few months. In Central and Eastern Europe, we've also seen efforts by governments to leverage digital services to serve their citizens. For example, the Estonian government has worked with a number of Estonian startups to add more online public services, including notaries, automatic sick leave, etc. The Lithuanian government has launched the No Quarantine on the Internet program to help Lithuanian SMEs be successful on the internet. And the Latvian parliament was one of the first in the world to create and start using a completely remote solution to assemble and work during the pandemic. But there is obviously a lot more work to be done. during this challenging time. The general population and our businesses are lagging behind in digitization, and they are at risk of being left behind in the future and during the hopefully digital economic recovery. All of these trends suggest two conclusions. First, that digital is an opportunity both to build resilience into the local and the region's economy and help future-proof it to create more opportunity for everyone. And the second conclusion is that online tools and digital skills will be a catalyst for the comeback, for health, information, education, and the economy, for people, communities, and businesses, all together for a digitally enabled, sustainable, and equitable future. So how can then we make sure that we develop digital in the right direction? The path to recovery, as I think everyone noticed, is bumpy. Despite the emergence of vaccine, lockdowns continue to create challenges for local businesses and communities, and unemployment continues to rise. There is a real desire to support small businesses in our local communities, and a real need to help SMBs digitize as well. From our side, we see that searches to support local businesses have grown globally by more than 2,000 times year over year. And while online shopping has grown enormously, lockdowns and restrictions continue to fluctuate, creating huge challenges for local independent businesses who might not be digital and who rely on their physical stores. As it was depicted before as well by the previous speakers, before the crisis, it was clear the jobs of the future need a new set of digital skills. Now it's even more urgent to invest in people and businesses for a sustainable and inclusive recovery. From our joint work with McKinsey, we know that people will need to learn new skills for future jobs, and some people will need to change careers as some jobs are disrupted. In recent years, new technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics have helped companies increase efficiency and productivity and become more competitive on the global stage. In countries like Latvia, we see amazing examples of local companies going global and exporting to international markets. But with these technological advancements come challenges for governments and employers. In the short term, technology can fundamentally change the way people work, and what we've especially seen in the past couple of months. And in the long term, it can also displace some jobs altogether. More than 90 million workers may need to develop significant new skills within their current roles, while up to 21 million may have to leave declining occupations. Automation, as mentioned as well, will affect sectors and occupations differently, with office work, manufacturing, agriculture, and construction presenting some of the highest displacement rates. It's not also gloomy though. So Europe alone may still have a shortage of workers rather than a shortage of jobs by 2030, with growth predicted in healthcare, STEM-related sectors, and creative and arts industries. So while tech aptitude is an asset, it's not everything. Europeans will spend 30% more time doing work related to social and emotional skills. The crisis, however, has put more jobs at risk. With the additional upheaval of jobs market as a result of the pandemic, it is imperative that skills programs are targeted at those most at risk of displacement. Technology must help everyone, and this is our belief, no matter where they live, their race, gender, education level. The digital recovery should leave nobody behind. All of us want a rapid recovery. We need the skills and jobs to support this, and everyone deserves a technology that helps. That's where also Google has a role to play, helping job seekers see the jobs that are available now, helping people get the skills and qualifications they need, helping businesses digitize faster, big and small, and especially those in underserved communities, and partnering with governments and local organizations to make it happen. Last year, we made a new pledge to help 10 million more people and businesses in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa by the end of 2021. Every day, we work with European entrepreneurs and businesses to help them grow. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we've increased our support by providing funding, tools, and programs to help workers and businesses recover faster from the crisis, and to help people stay safe, informed, and connected. As a local example, our partnership with Riga Tech Girls, or the trainings available at the online platform of Digital Garage. Along with increasing private investment from companies like ours, we do call on governments to create the right environment to help citizens learn the skills that are required for the jobs of the future. It's up to all of us, governments, companies, and citizens, to make sure all European regions thrive and the benefits of automation reach everyone. What is obvious is that digital skills and tools will be vital to the way out of the crisis, and upskilling and reskilling is paramount. As a short conclusion, we do see a lot of opportunity in Latvia and Central Eastern Europe to both accelerate the development of the country, to put Latvia on the global map as the place to be for innovation and economic growth. We also do look forward to supporting your efforts. We are open to engaging more as we work together through the current economic and health crisis and towards future-proofing the progress of Latvia. We remain also fundamentally optimistic about the future and the potential. And with this, these are my final words, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ivana. And I think you know what's coming up. It's a grilling from Zane. So
no, it's not grilling. Ivana is a dear friend, I must admit. So
with pleasure.
I'll have two questions from myself, and then we'll take one from the audience. So audience, use a chance to ask question via Slido. But the questions from me, the first question has to do with your work with small medium enterprises. Obviously, large companies have, you know, the competency when it comes to, you know, training and development programs. They also have budgets. The small medium enterprises don't. So what have been your experience working with small medium enterprises and their digital skills, if you can tell?
Sure. So I'll start from the context. I think on the big picture, we see that small and medium businesses digitization in our region is lagging behind the European average. What we also see, though, is staggering growth. If we take a look at the pandemic, the growth in e-commerce has really skyrocketed. What we've also seen in the past couple of years is the growth of international trade online for our SMEs. So there are many positive trends. Then if we take a look at, say, the sector or the industry, we can see that there is different barriers to businesses going digital. One big one is the lack of time, then the lack of awareness, and then the lack of access to learning platforms, to the right skills, etc. What is comforting is the growth that we see, and on the other hand, the appetite from SMEs to actually go online. I think the trend will stay, so we see that it's sticking. So the future does look positive. It is obviously also the role of companies like ours, but also the public sector, to enable a digital ecosystem in which individuals and businesses of all sizes can thrive. And then looking at the fact that the crisis has widened the social divide, it's also crucial that businesses from underprivileged groups as well thrive in the years to come. So there's a wide variety of options and things that both governments, individuals, and businesses can tackle to ensure that they go digital. So long story short, I would really say that everything has accelerated. SMEs have the appetite to go online, and this trend has been present as well before the pandemic, but the pandemic only accelerated this.
Thank you. Then actually two more questions from me. When it comes to individuals, you have been working now for at least a year on these many projects with the aim to bridge the digital gap and improve employability as part of it. Can you mention one or two examples probably about the most successful projects you've had, globally? Because oftentimes, learning digital skills seems like a daunting task. We're talking about hundreds and thousands of people, for example, in the case of Latvia, and everybody's very confused as to where to even start from and how to get numbers and skills moving quickly.
Sure. So I think what's important to note from our side, we do have partnerships with governments and companies in many countries around the world and in Europe. There is many different examples. Maybe I'll start with some recent ones. So we've recently published the google.org Impact Challenge for Central Eastern Europe to support digitization. And this is for a wide variety of projects, whether it's for social good, for underprivileged groups, etc. This is a part of a broader umbrella that's called Grow with Google. Under Grow with Google, there is plenty of projects that we are investing in to help also individuals and workers upskill or reskill. In Northern Europe, we have partnerships with trade unions as well, where we helped upskill and train workers that are most at risk of displacement. And then in Poland, for example, we have a big program for SMEs to go digital, including cloud, ads, a wide variety of internet marketing tools, etc. Around the region, we have programs focused on e-commerce. And then we also have digital marketing programs for individuals. So I think the numbers of trained and impacted, so people who have successfully grown their career or skills are already now counted in millions, and our pledge by the end of this year is 10 million in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. But if you'd like me to summarize in a couple of lines, yeah, there is a great project in Northern Europe on, let's say, trade unions. I mustn't leave out also Riga Tech Girls and the partnership we have on upskilling women and girls to go into careers into technology. I think that's an excellent example of working with for the benefit of society and with individuals. And obviously, we do have an online platform which is called Digital Garage, where anyone can go and upskill themselves on new skills. And the appetite, especially during lockdown, is huge. So more and more people go and have the interest to actually learn and to get more skills for the future.
Wonderful. I hope there will be more cooperations with Latvia in the future. We have one question from the audience that we would like to ask you in particular. And it's a question from Alice. So, collaboration with public sector, what could be Google involvement in early education, supporting young children digital skills and critical thinking, an important skill for learning ability and ability to change later in life?
Sure, thank you very much for the question. I think one important step in this is, first of all, access and availability of online schooling. This has dramatically changed during the past year. We have also been a part of this major shift with all the efforts we've done with Google for Education. But the availability of online learning has changed dramatically. And then looking at what we can do for children at schools from Google's perspective, one area that we do tackle is online safety for children. Kids now spend more time online due to the situation. So keeping them safe online has become paramount, even more now than ever. We have programs in many markets which are called Be Internet Awesome, where we do work with NGOs and the public sector on educating teachers, parents, and children on how to use the internet safely and how to make sure that this priority is taken care of. So access, then the area of online safety is where we are mostly active at.
Wonderful. And I have last question, a provocative one, but I'll still ask you. So Google is also an employer and also investor in countries. And your Baltic office is located in Vilnius. So how does Google approach making these decisions? And, could we expect in the next 5 years a Google office in Riga?
That's a very provocative question, Zane. Thanks very much. So first of all, as I already noted, very, very directly and honestly, we really believe in the potential of the Baltic region, and we look forward to expanding our cooperation. I can't comment on decisions or future plans on opening offices or not, but what I can comment is that we see a lot of opportunity to accelerate the development of the country, to expand our partnerships, and to expand our footprint. In Latvia, we are very open to engage more as we work together through the current crisis. To your question on how decisions are made, there's many different factors that come into play for this. And I think this has been, so our Baltic office has been based in Lithuania for a large number of years. We do have offices in many, but not all countries across Europe, but we hope to partner more and to expand our footprint in the country.
Thank you so much, Ivana.